X-Play, TV's most watched video game show.
Today on X-Play, we've got the world premiere hands-on demo of Mario Kart Wii, the new sequel that's bigger, faster, and online. Plus, we've got adults-only fun in Japanese import, Sexy Beach 3. And in Will Work for Games, we show you how you can get Halo on the go in Ben Heckendorn's Modding Paradise, and our review of Frontline's Fuel of War for the Xbox 360. It's game time!
Hello and welcome to X-Play, the only video game show that stays crispy and melts.
Yum.
I'm Adam Teslin.
And I'm Morgan Webb. We're coming to you from the G4 Studios in Los Angeles on Friday, March 7th. On today's show, we've got a review of Frontline's Fuel of War, a game with a plot line more depressing than dead kittens.
Then we'll take our Halo to go, thank you. We visit Ben Heckendorn's Xbox laptop studio in Will Work for Games. Plus, we have an unspeakably bawdy preview of Sexy Beach 3. You know you want it. But first, Morgan,
what?
I'm banishing you to the realm of the gaming update.
Apple's CEO Steve Jobs recently revealed their new software development kit for the iPhone. Yes, the Jesus phone will soon feature games, including EA's evolutionary Sims 4 and Sega's tilt-controlled Super Monkey Ball. Virtually anyone can download the SDK and pay the $99 entry fee to join Apple's developer program. Electronic Arts and Sega aren't the only game publishers and developers who will have a crack at the iPhone, though. John Carmack of id Software has confirmed they have already applied to work on iPhone games. Video game publisher and distributor Infogrames is looking to acquire the remaining outstanding stock of Atari. With a stable of franchises that include Alone in the Dark, Dragon Ball Z, and Test Drive, Atari says they plan to thoroughly evaluate the new proposal with their board of directors. Infogrames also recently made headlines when they hired former Sony Worldwide Studios president Phil Harrison to be its president. As we reported yesterday, gamers who are playing the Xbox 360 version of Rockstar's Bully Scholarship Edition have experienced frame rate and audio glitches. Rockstar has since released a statement regarding these issues, saying, quote, "We will be releasing a title update through Xbox Live within the next week that we are confident will rectify the problem. We apologize wholeheartedly for the inconvenience that this matter has caused some owners of the game." The recently released PSP title God of War Chains of Olympus will not be ported to the PlayStation 2 anytime soon. Ready at Dawn, the game's developer, confirmed on their website that Chains of Olympus will be their last God of War and their last PSP game, as they plan to move on to other projects on other consoles. Whether or not Sony will ask another developer to port the title remains to be seen. That is all for today's gaming update. Be sure to visit us on the web at g4tv.com/xplay to continue getting all of today's up-to-the-minute video game news. But right now, grab your driving gloves. It's time for our world premiere demo of Mario Kart Wii. We just got started on a little game of Mario Kart here. Mario, of course, is coming in April, and we're very excited. They've got some new tracks. Ooh, they have some old tracks to play with. I'm doing a little bit better this time, I have to say. I wasn't doing so well last time around.
Yeah, we're doing all right. Yeah, I have to say, playing this game where we're using the nunchuck, it doesn't play as differently on the Wii as, say, Super Smash Brothers did, but I happen to like just holding the nunchuck in my hand. It's a little more sort of comfortable than holding an entire controller that can kind of wear yourself out, and you can weave like you want to do when you're playing a driving game.
And it will come with the wheel, which you insert the Wiimote into, right. But we, of course, don't have that yet because it's not out yet.
And we can at least safely say that it works just fine with the Wiimote itself. You know, some of the peripherals have been a little bit dicey as of late.
And you can play with the GameCube controller, and it works very similar. This is, it's actually very easy. You just basically control with the analog stick on the nunchuck, and
I have to say, I don't think I would actually go to the GameCube controller. I originally thought I would, but I'm really enjoying doing it this way. There's not. Oh yeah, the one thing I think it's worth noting is that you're on a motorcycle there, Morgan.
Yeah, and I can pop a wheelie. Hold on one second. Oh, that's a wall. I'm gonna pop a wheelie.
And that's pretty much the most motion-sensitive thing that we've noticed in the game so far is, jumping up right there to do a wheelie. All right. That was nice. And moving on. So Frontline's Fuel of War pits America and Europe against...
All right. writer, I believe it was Tolstoy, once asked, war, what is it good for? Now that question is not rhetorical. The answer is video games.
Frontlines is just the latest title to embrace the harsh realities of combat. Here's our X list of the top 5 games of war.
Number 5 is Warhammer 40,000 Dawn of War, the PC real-time strategy game that took the series off the table. At number 4 is the game we just reviewed, Frontlines Fuel of War. If the apocalypse has remote control mini choppers that can kill, I'm so in.
And number 3 is World of Warcraft, which I understand is popular in some circles. Right ahead of that is Gears of War, which paints the future of roided-up super soldiers who occasionally bust a rhyme.
And our number 1 is God of War. Kratos doesn't have time to fight armies. He has to take down the gods. Army of one indeed.
All right, stay where you are. We'll be right back with more right after we get the bills paid.
Coming up on X-Play. Get your gaming on the go with Will Work for Games. We go inside custom console creator Ben Heckendorn's Xbox laptop studio. Then, put some sunblock on your bikini area. We're headed to the adults-only sexy beach. 3, that is. Plus, our virtual audience is armed with questions, and we're packing answers. Stay tuned.
Bird or a mountain?
Welcome back to X-Play. Of course, I like my Xbox 360, but a busy business professional such as myself could really use it on the go, like, while driving. Well, thanks to Ben Heckendorn, that dream can come true, as well as having one-handed controllers, portable Ataris, and whatever else your mind can imagine. This one-man operation does the impossible for the right price. Take a look at how it's done in this Will Work for Games. Verona, Wisconsin. Population roughly 9,000. Aside from being hometown USA and the home of the Optimist Club Friends of Youth, it's also the residence of console modification guru Ben Heckendorn, who is living proof that if your dream job in the gaming industry doesn't exist, well, just make it up.
Well, it was about 8 years ago, and I thought, I'm going to try something new. I want a new hobby. Anyway, so I'm like, okay, I will try making this portable Atari video game system. And at the time, I had a very basic idea about electronics. Like, I knew which end of the soldering iron to hold. That was about it. Over the course of a couple months, I cobbled together this Atari portable using an original Atari shell. And then after that, I would branch off to other systems, such as the PlayStation, Nintendo, and recently the Xbox. So I try to do things that the community appreciates and enjoys. I think, maybe more so that I might kind of have my finger on what gamers like than large companies. And like with the Xbox, I like to make things that inspire people's imaginations and kind of like, oh yeah, that's really cool, things they appreciate. And I think people like it when I do it because it's separated from the, the big corporate world or whatever.
You're probably saying to yourself, I could never do what Ben does. Guess I'll keep climbing the management ladder at Arby's. Hold on there, horsey sauce. It might be easier than you think.
I'm surprised someone hasn't come along and done much better than me. So I would encourage people, if they have an interest in the subject, to read up on it, take classes. We're just using the internet. There's so much information on the internet. But anyone that takes the time can do it. And it's an interesting hobby, and you can even make some money off of it.
Should you too become a world-class modder, never forget where you came from. Remember, this used to be your hobby.
I very rarely build these projects for myself. And if I do build something for myself, it's usually something like big that I can have around the house. I made a Neo Geo arcade machine, for instance, which is a lot of fun. Now the big thing I want to do is I want to build my own pinball machine from the ground up. And so I thought, what could the theme be? It has to be a theme. And like 3 seconds later, I thought, oh, Bill Paxton Pinball.
Game over, man.
They do things a little different in Japan. Here we have beach names like Pismo, Pebble, and Long. In Japan, they have beach names like Futaba, Otaru Dream, and Sexy, which is why I'm moving to Japan tomorrow. Let's take a little trip in this preview of Sexy Beach 3. Are you sick of winter savaging the circular inhabitants of your briefs, reducing them to sadly withered figs incapable of coital glory? How about you let X-Play take your formerly formidable fruit to a pixelated paradise known as Sexy Beach?
Sexy Beach.
Sexy Beach 3 is a seduction simulator, a wildly popular genre in Japan, a country obsessed with manner, tradition, and honor. Sweet silos of salacious sagacity. On Sexy Beach, exotic fruit sways on languid trees, but don't be hasty, some may not quite be right. Gratuitous dialogue screens deliver you a relatively simple path to your new friend's libidinal hometown.
どこに手をやってるの?
Your first physical contact with our tender-gendered digital vendor of amore has you applying a coat of Lube de Soleil to her sun-vulnerable epidermis. A few laughs, a few lotions, and the lactose-loaded petrol points of infancy really develop a life of their own, as the ladies swim, jump rope, and volley your balls, all for your creepy consideration. After a lot of mouse-click-driven flirtation, you'll finally become a seasoned savant of the sexy beaches. It is then that you will finally be worshipped, like Gauguin or Tahiti, except instead of fine art, it's just poorly coded digital porn. Claim thine booty, Admiral! Your seamen await your command! The Japanese don't seem to give a shinto about how their oddly excessive depictions of sex are seen when compared to the rigid conformity of their society, making it all the more interesting when it's made in Japan.
Yep. When Next Play returns, we'll catch up with you, our virtual audience. But first, let's take a look at who's carrying the big lumber in today's leaderboard for MLB 2K8.
Stick around for Take G4 on the road. Download this show now as a G4 podcast.
We love.
Welcome back to X-Play. It's Friday night, which means I'm barely holding it together long enough to finish the show. Soon I'll be arrested for public drunkenness, public urination, or public transportation.
Yeah, well, more than likely to be the trifecta. But before we add to Adam's rap sheet, let's catch up and welcome our virtual audience. Joining us tonight is Matt from California. Matt, what's on your mind?
Do you guys get a lot of negative feedback on games you review if people disagree with you?
Yes. I mean, as we talked about yesterday in the head-to-head games, are opinions. You know, our reviews are opinions, and so we know that what we say isn't necessarily going to be everybody's opinion, but there are, degrees of niceness in which people could respond to our opinion.
Yeah, I like to call it sometimes with our message board posters, it's the Les Miserables syndrome, where you spent $60 on a game, you probably spent 30, maybe 40 hours playing that game. You're going to convince yourself that you did the right thing in your time and your money, and so you resent it when you are told that you actually didn't have a good time.
Yeah, and we're actually open to well-reasoned opinions about video games. If you want to say your opinion and support it and back it up with logic, then we're more than happy to listen to you.
And one day we'll get one of them.
Yeah. Thanks for the question, Matt. Next, we've got Chris coming at us from Texas. What can we do for you, Chris?
How you doing, Morgan? I actually do have a quick question for you guys. What's the latest on the Take-Two EA merger, and do you guys feel like it'll affect anything?
We actually are seeing a lot of consolidation in the video game industry. I mean, it's a huge financial outlay for a company to make a video game, so it makes sense that everybody's trying to kind of glom together.
Exactly. I mean, it's right now, Take-Two is saying that they're not going to let them do it. And we haven't heard much out of EA saying that they're going to make another attempt for a hostile takeover. The most important thing, though, is right now, it's not going to really affect anything. GTA 4 is still going to come out on time. And whatever changes it might impact will be quite down the line.
Yes. All right, up next, we have Peter from Canada. He wants to talk Smash Brothers. Go ahead.
Hey, have you tried the online play for Super Smash Brothers Brawl yet? And did you like it? And do you think it was worth the wait?
There wasn't that much extra wait, I guess, the first time
I think we did delay it a few times there. But the online, if we delayed it for the online, it was worth the wait.
Yeah.
It's seamless. I know. To be honest, I wasn't expecting this from Nintendo. I thought this was a big stumbling block.
Well, Nintendo does very well with its games, but they haven't really been pushing the online environment, so you were expecting it to be a little choppy and just not quite up to snuff, but it's seamless.
Yeah, which is great.
Yeah. All right, Pete is up next, asking about the new XNA from GDC. What's up, Pete?
So I was going to ask you, what is the XNA, and can anyone make a game?
All right, what is the XNA? Well, it's a tool set that helps you make kind of small Xbox Live Arcade type games. It stands for, I believe, X stands for XNA.
Yes.
No
acronym.
No
or not
acronym.
An acronym.
It's all like techie and funny and stuff like that. I asked this question myself because I want to know if I can make a game with it. Not everyone can. You have to have some programming skills. Obviously, you have to have some creativity. So you can give a shot at it, but you probably need some training also.
But it's going to be a great way to learn if you've always wanted to be a game developer. It's going to be a great way for you to learn. There's going to be a lot of help online that you're going to be able to access. So it's going to work out for...
Exactly.
Yeah, so get on it. Go start making games.
Now. Well, loyal viewers, thanks for all your questions. And we've had a great week with a lot of reviews.
If only there was some way we could live it all over again. This week we reviewed Army of Two. The co-op gameplay in this shooter is superb, and the fact that you can fling your gun out earns it 4 diamond-studded barrels.
We also reviewed the video game version of the hit show Lost. This was about as fun as really being stranded on an island. It got 2 Dharma stations out of 5. Then we saw MLB 2K8. This baseballer continues its winning streak with some improved pitching and fielding. It weighs 4 stars home.
Another baseball game we took for a spin was MLB 08, the show. This yearly update, while strong, doesn't quite add enough polish and new features to warrant an upgrade. It puts 3 runs on the board. Then we banged a gong and got it on with Patapon. The rhythm-based PSP game drummed its way into our hearts with an innovative mix of RTS and BATS. It nabbed 4 stars.
And we reviewed Dynasty Warriors 8 or 6 or 7. Really, this is the same game we've seen for over 10 years. It button mashes its way to only 2 stars. And finally, we saw Frontline's Fuel of War. The single-player campaign is too short, but the online multiplayer and the vast array of weapons makes this dystopian future one we can all cross our fingers for. Frontlines get 4 oil barrels out of 5.
Tuesday night, X-Play presents Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Vegas 2. Team Rainbow heads back to Sin City to explore the darker side of Vegas in this highly anticipated sequel.
We'll show you the brand new storyline, exclusive never-before-seen footage from the game, expanded multiplayer gameplay, and much more.
Your mission starts Tuesday night at 8. Check out g4tv.com/Rainbow6 to pre-order your copy and for more info on Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Vegas 2.
All right, well, that's it for today, but we'll be back with an all-new X-Play this Monday at 8. And on that show, we review Super Smash Bros. Brawl and see if it really is the greatest fan service game ever.
Plus, we check in with Bob and Steve in another all-new episode featuring some poorly done secret agenting. Then someone's gonna end up meeting the business end of a glaive when we check out Dark Sector.
And up next, check out Ninja Warrior. This is part of G4's Duty Free TV.
See you next week. Thanks for watching.
Hey, I want to go back and play some more Mario Kart.
Where's home?
I don't know.